Lions just recovered a fumble.
Bits of wisdom.
It's Harry Houdini, I'm pretty sure.
That's when it kind of becomes Home Improvement After Dark.
I guess that leaves us at the question of the week.
Very good. I don't know if you noticed, Jordan, but a really cool aerial shot of the table. Reasonably funny.
User review.
Does everybody know what time it is?
Home and podcast time.
That's right. A company that would never give birth to Binford Tools is proud to present a Home Improvement Podcast. My name is Adam, and I'm joined by my co-host, Jordan. Jordan, how the heck are you?
I'm good. How are you feeling, man?
I'm all right. There's some loud...
It's loud back there.
You know...
Not only are you recovering from being sick, but now you have to deal with that kind of noise. People nowadays.
Yeah, my throat's been giving me some trouble, but not as much trouble as this hoving machine. H-O-V-I-N-G? What does that mean? That's what.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, me either. A truck just went by. Doesn't much matter because it appears to be leaving. But yeah, every time we start recording, a large truck pulls up and parks right by the window, and it's.
Do you want to know what Urban Dictionary has to say about hoving?
Yeah.
When someone pays too much attention to another person with the goal being to get boned, somewhere between hovering over and stalking. So that's hoving.
Wow, I mean, you read something on IMDb that was convoluted before we started, but that also kind of seems like there's a lot going into that. I don't think that's what the company specializes in. I think they're going to clean up the parking lot, but we don't need to dwell on this anymore. What we do need to dwell on is
something more important.
Yeah, the NBA Finals start tonight, Jordan. We're going to talk a little bit about that. You and I both are basketball fans. Who you got?
I got the Warriors.
Okay.
I'm hoping for a good series. It's been a rather down year for playoffs, so let's hope they finish with a bang. But we'll see how it goes. It starts tonight. I guess by the time this episode comes out, they might be even through 2 games. But what's your prediction?
I'm pretty checked out in the playoffs this year, just because everything.
You are a basketball fan. I
am, but I'm just checked out. I haven't been interested in the playoffs because everything has kind of culminated exactly as everyone predicted. It's like 5-6 months ago when we started off the season, I think everybody would have picked these 2 teams, and here we are. So maybe the same teams in the finals 3 years in a row should excite me, but I kind of have the opposite feeling where it's just like, well, if the Warriors win. The best team in the league won, and everybody thought they would. If the Cavaliers win, another one of the best teams in the league won, and everybody thought they would. So it's just like, I guess.
Usually the 2 best teams make it to the finals.
I don't agree with that. I feel like it's
at least the best team from each conference. Usually, that's the thing about the NBA playoffs. There's not a lot of upsets, but. At the end of the day, I want to see the best teams play the best teams for the championship.
Boston was a number 1 seed, so...
I think objectively, everyone else would say, or I guess subjectively in this case, the Cavaliers are the better team.
Objectively, I would say the Cavaliers are great, and no one can argue. I'm just not... I don't know. I will be rooting for Cleveland. But I won't feel real strongly either way. I'm just... Yeah... Maybe the Pistons will...
I bet you everyone listening tonight, or whenever this comes out on Wednesday, they're just really fired up with your NBA Finals charisma.
It's just so dull to me. Like, all the series have been boring. None of the narratives interest me. I don't like Draymond. I'm not a big Durant fan. I don't like the Warriors. I don't like people wearing all the Warriors memorabilia. And most...
Sounds like you're a Cavs fan, then.
I don't know. I mean,
you don't want to commit to that, but you don't like the Warriors.
I'm not a Cavs fan. I just I appreciate LeBron, and I don't really like his supporting cast either. So my ideal series would have been Milwaukee Bucks v. Portland, maybe.
Ooh. Well, maybe next year.
Lillard v. Giannis.
Giannis. Just say Giannis.
Yes, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Antetokounmpo.
Well, I may not bring a lot of enthusiasm to my finals analysis, but I do have a lot riding on this week's bit of wisdom, and I'm gonna bring the thunder. So, Jordan, go ahead and cue those grunts.
Sure, it's all safe to me. Oh, ah! Oh no!
Now it's time for Bits of Wisdom.
This week's bit of wisdom comes from notablequotes.com. Man is the only animal to borrow tools. This has been your bit of wisdom.
I'm not sure if that's true or not.
Well, Tim Allen attributed to a publication called Natural History on April of 1994. So I don't know what the context was for that, but Jordan, you want to dissect or analyze?
Yeah, I feel like I've heard news reports of like different types of primates using tools.
Yeah, but do they have their own or do they borrow? That's kind of what you got to ask yourself.
You're right. You're right.
This is saying that this is.
I've never heard of a primate asking for a tool.
I've never heard of a primate walking over to his neighbor's house, knocking on the door, and saying, "Hey, can I have your buzzsaw?"
You're right.
So I mean, it sounds like it's grounded in fact.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And if it's on notablequotes.com, then it's true anyways. Yeah,
notable quotes. Good publication. Guess how many likes that got?
Too many.
I stopped at 2. You were right, 2.
Oh,
Too
okay.
many.
Wow. That's similar to the trivia that we have this week for episode 48, Birth of a Hot Rod. So this episode I was waiting for your nice sound effects, so thanks for putting those in there. Written by Steve Gabriel. This is his only episode. We've had a few of those lately where it's either a one-off or somebody's only done a couple episodes. Steve also did some Will and Grace episodes, and he was a miscellaneous crew member on Alf, which I know is one of your favorites.
You know, I talk a lot about Alf. I've never watched a whole episode.
Oh, you talk a lot about, you talk a big game, but you can't watch the Alf, man.
I just like the idea of Alf, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that it's just hard to fathom that it was on, and it was on for so long.
Alf. All right, so aired May 12th, 1993. I do want to read this trivia, or a goof. 2 out of 2 people found this interesting, and I'm most certainly going to stumble over this just like I usually do, Tony Topola, because there's a lot of... shall we say, car talk in this. So, here's a goof. Tim tells Gus, the repairman, that his hot rod engine is a Chevy small block that's been bored out to a 383. It has a 400 crank in it. Putting a crankshaft from a 400 cubic inch Chevy small block, which has a longer stroke than a 350 CI small block, will bring a 350 up to a 383 CI. Therefore, you don't bore a 350 to make a 383. Duh.
You know that gag in Airplane where the guy will be telling the story? And
you make a lot of references to Airplane, and I still haven't seen it.
Okay, well, there's a gag in Airplane where like people will be telling stories to this guy, or he'll be telling stories to people on the plane, and the camera will pan over towards him, and then they'll pan back, and the people will have like hung themselves or stabbed themselves with a sword, or one guy blows himself up. That's kind of how I felt when you were going through that.
I'm kind of upset that, you know, we've read a lot more interesting things on there before, and it's either 1 out of 2 or 0 out of 2 people found that interesting. 2 out of 2 people found that interesting, and I just hope they're being sarcastic.
I think there's nothing inherently interesting about goofs. Like, I'm not, I don't know. I feel like the whole, like, gotcha 30 years later just doesn't really work, but maybe that's just me.
Well, then our show might be obsolete.
Well, depends on who you ask. We got some alternate titles, right?
Yeah, we got some. You came up with 3. You keep going above and beyond.
Yeah,
so
but
I guess...
I also came up with them in 30 seconds, so think about the quality.
Yeah, quality over quantity for you.
Yeah.
Or for me, I suppose.
Vice versa, yeah.
Vice versa vice. You go ahead and go first so I can sandwich in the middle there.
All right, so the title is called Birth of a Hot Rod. My first one is Death of a Repairman.
Mm-hmm. Poor guy.
Do you get it? Like Death of a Salesman, like the
yes.
famous play?
Yeah. Okay. I've never seen the play, though. Have you?
No, I haven't. But I hear it referenced a lot, so there must be something to it.
All right. My first one has a little bit of alliteration going on. So we've got tragic topiaries.
Oh, yeah. I had to think about where the topography came into play, but now I remember a very funny scene. All right. My next one is Hot Rod Thinkin'.
Hot Rod Thinkin'.
Yeah, like Hot Rod Lincoln.
Nice.
You're going to drive me to drinking if you don't stop driving that Hot Rod Lincoln.
Didn't we mention that a long time ago?
We've used that song on the show.
Okay, in the first season.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. My second one is Appliance Defiance.
That's good. Yeah,
thanks.
That's really good.
I can rhyme.
My last one is Give It the Gusto. Pretty good week for us, I gotta say.
I'm just happy you incorporated Gus.
Yeah, I didn't even know his name until you said it pre-show, and then I wrote that down.
No wonder you had to come up with that one last minute then.
Yeah, I forgot his name, but... Alright, we got a synopsis?
Yeah, it's really long. I'm not excited about this, but here we go. At home, Tim's Project Hot Rod is finally in the stage where he can see if it will start up. It doesn't.
That's not what it says on the write-up. Good correction.
I'm trying. Tim takes a break. Jill wants him to fix a doorknob, the burner on the stove, the gas line, and the ice dispenser. That's a lot of stuff to fix. Tim keeps postponing them all because of the hot rod. Jill declares that she will fix the stove and the ice dispenser. Tim forbids that and promises he will fix everything soon, in quotation marks. Jill becomes tired of waiting and calls a repairman to fix the stove. Tim still doesn't approve. Then the repairman sees the hot rod and in an instant forgets all about the stove. In tool time...
Inside of it.
Yeah, I was thinking it's lawn care week. Tim gives a speech about mowing the lawn and presents several types of grass. Later during the week, they will salute clippers and sprinklers, but first they salute fertilizers.
So thorough.
Thank you, Tony, for all of that. Just a couple of typos that time, so
Getting better.
Getting better. Let's get into the episode. What do you say?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So we're going to open in the garage. Tim and the boys, sans Mark, are in the garage looking at the car, which I thought was kind of funny because Randy doesn't even like cars. Why does he care at all about being near this hot rod? But
yeah, Randy also catches the football later on in the episode on like a nice fly pattern route. So
you know who throws that?
Brad.
No, it's Mark.
Well, we got to talk about that later on. Well, all I'm saying is that Randy, his character attributes are fickle. They seem to change a lot.
He's pretty fluid. So Tim's getting ready to start the hot rod. The logo comes in, and he's got his own set of wheels.
You better not to be outdone by the actual hot rod.
No, he speeds out there. I thought he was kind of like Yasiel Puig, when he kept coming to spring training with all his sweet cars. And that's the sweet car that the logo
I didn't know Yasiel Puig did that. Yasiel Puig... not good enough anymore to do that kind of thing,
I feel like there was a time on every day on SportsCenter, this is why no one watches SportsCenter anymore.
Yeah.
Where they showed like what he drove to spring training every day, and it was some fancy car.
He might not even be in the majors like 2 years, so he should save that money.
Yeah, well, too late now. So the engine, unfortunately, will not turn over on this hot rod. It just. At least that's what it sounds like to me. I don't know much about cars, but that's what it sounds like.
I wrote that it wouldn't turn over either, so there must be something to that if we both wrote it.
That's right.
A couple of car nuts like we are.
Yep. Tim goes inside to think about what's happening, so he needs a little break from the hot rod. Jill is outside and locked outside because the doorknob is broken, kind of. You just got to wiggle it a little bit. Eventually it comes off, and she's able to come in. So we were setting up pretty early here that there's some things around the house that are getting neglected here because of the hot rod. I also learned in this scene that they planned on having 6 kids.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's too many.
Yeah, they have enough trouble with 3. I can't double the amount of kids. I mean, maybe the show could have gone on.
Could have been the Brady Bunch,
15
volume 2.
years instead of 8 years or whatever. But yeah, 6 years would be chaos around there. They'd have to
6 kids. You mean?
What'd I say?
6 years.
Yeah, 6 years.
It goes
6
on
kids.
for longer than 6 years.
It just seems like it. They'd have to add on to the house or something. It wouldn't work.
Tim would love that.
Yeah, he would. Jill proceeds to kind of berate Tim for the next couple of minutes with a long impression of Tim. It really goes on a very, very long time. There's grunting, and she tries to do imitations, and then Tim proceeds to do the same for Jill. It goes on a long time. It's kind of back and forth. It's not really that funny, but you could tell that the writer thought it was because it's a solid minute. And when you're watching the show, a minute of for a scene really stands out.
Yeah, that's a long time. She does really give him the business in this scene. She's kind of fed up.
Yeah,
with all this stuff.
They're really just setting up what's to come. With Tim will only he only does half of a job, or he only wants to work on things that are glorious or give him glory or attention, not like the less.
Yeah, and that hot rod gets
a
lot of glory.
Or knob or whatever else Tony says, but yeah.
whatever else Tony mistyped.
Whatever else Tony mentioned in the intro.
So opening
that
scene,
ends
right?
the cold open, right? That's it.
Yeah, that's it. So next scene, downstairs, Randy ever the jerk of an older brother, steals Mark's cereal right away. He steals Cocoa Busters. That's the cereal.
I thought it was Cocoa Roosters.
Cocoa Roosters?
Yeah.
I think it's Cocoa Busters.
You keep talking.
But don't Google it.
Why?
Because I Googled it and some lewd websites came up.
Oh, no. All right.
You don't want to do that.
You Googled Cocoa Busters?
Yeah. Just don't do it. You're not going to be happy with the results.
I'm going to look up Cocoa Roosters. If that's dirty, too, well, then we're just...
Then we're in a lot of trouble.
I got... The first thing is singingrooster.org. Well, I guess I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but we'll just have to. We can say with confidence you don't want to look up Cocoa Busters, but it could be Cocoa Busters or Cocoa Roosters. Carry on.
I was going to ask, what are your favorite childhood cereals? Did you eat a lot of cereal when you were a kid, or were you
I ate a ton of cereal. I remember I would come home and have 2 bowls of cereal every day after school.
Ooh, so you didn't have it for breakfast?
I ate it for breakfast too. I just really liked it.
Oh man.
Yeah, I was a little bit more portly. Yeah, I trying to think what I liked. Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yes.
Definitely comes to mind. I feel like I liked Apple Jacks quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
Reese's Puffs probably are like the best because I think it is candy, probably technically. It just tastes like you're eating, Reese's for breakfast, like the commercials used to say.
Yeah, some people aren't lucky enough to know what that tastes like.
Oh, yeah, like who?
Nobody. Okay. Nobody at all.
What about yours?
I don't want our audience to know how to, if they've get fed up with me, they could send me some sort of package that would take me down.
Chocolate Delight.
Chocolate Delight.
And you're not talking about Cocoa Busters.
Did you like Fruity Pebbles? That was my favorite when I was younger. I like Fruity Pebbles
and Cocoa Pebbles. I think I liked all cereals except for probably the healthy ones.
Yeah, they were very sugary, and you had to eat like 5 or 6 bowls every morning. But
Frosted Flakes are good. I mean, I'm trying to think of cereals I didn't like. Probably like plain Cheerios, which I like now. But
yeah, I didn't like them very much when I was a kid either. I don't know. Yeah, I liked everything. I liked everything from like Kix to Oops All Berries, Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch is good, but it kind of used to tear up my mouth.
It definitely did. It's
weird that, that was a thing that just happened.
And people still kept buying.
Yeah.
It hurt so good.
Yeah, that's true.
There was like an alphabet one, I feel like, that I liked. I don't know. There was a lot, and they're all good. I just... When I got to college, I still had a lot of cereal, and I would just, pick a different one each week so I could get a variety and kind of...
I still eat it every, once, probably a couple times a week, but not with the same fervor that I once did. I think that part of my life is maybe just behind me.
Some people just have it for dessert now. Like, they'll just have a little bowl of cereal for dessert.
That's kind of, that's what Kirsten does. If she wants something sweet, she'll have a bowl of cereal, which is, better than a piece of cheesecake, per se.
Yeah, right? I would say there's less fat, maybe definitely less sugar too. So
yeah,
the wise choice. Yeah, I've moved on to granola and oatmeal, so I guess I'm a grown up.
Yeah, if I want something sweet after a meal, I'll just have a spoonful of peanut butter. So,
all right. Well, good
back to
know.
the episode.
I know what I'm getting you now for a return gift.
Yeah, seriously.
Peanut butter.
Don't give me the
Tim
cheap
comes
kind.
home.
Don't give me the cheap kind though. Give me the natural, the stir kind. Don't send me Jif over the mail.
All right. I was going to get you Peter Pan.
No, not for me.
Not for you. Okay, so back to what we were talking about. Randy steals the Cocoa Busters, and Tim comes in from the garage, and he breaks it up. It turns out that Mark was trying to get a 3D baseball card. Turns out you also need 8 proofs of purchase to get this baseball card. Not a problem for the Taylor family because they're just going to eat right now. And so,
do cereals still do the proofs of purchase thing? Because I remember that was such a thing growing up.
You're the one who says you keep eating cereal.
Yeah, but not like child cereal.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to go to my local Publix and do some research.
Yeah, okay, cool.
All right. Jill comes in and is wondering how the stove is going. Apparently there's some issues there as well. Brad also comes in. Everybody just is coming in from everywhere and says that he hooked up the gas line to, I guess, the car?
Yeah, Tim says he hooked up the gas line, and Jill assumes that it's for the stove, and then Brad says something about the hot rod, so it's revealed that he hooked up the gas line to the hot rod. I don't know enough about any of it to really comment.
I thought Jill was wondering what he was doing as far as hooking up the... basically Tim was too busy to fix the stove because he was hooking up the gas line to the car, I thought. And then Brad comes in and says that he was doing it, so Tim was really just doing nothing. That's what I thought was happening there.
Okay, I took it more as he was supposed to be hooking up the gas line to the grill.
I think our problem is we don't know where this gas line is going to or coming from.
Where y'all going? Where y'all coming from? No,
Either way, I'm impressed with Brad for knowing how to do that.
Yeah, definitely. It's already got us beat.
Yeah, the ice dispenser is also broken unless you hit it right, so Tim demonstrates how to do so, and you get 1 cube after slamming it a couple times. Jill thinks he's spending all of his time on the hot rod, and that's not necessarily what we see. We haven't seen him in the garage for the last few episodes, really. But
it's just casually mentioned, but yeah, I haven't seen him work on it this season.
And she also goes on to say, if a job isn't fun or he can't power it up, he's not interested. And I thought that was kind of true. The only thing I can think of that he hasn't really done anything crazy to is the washer, which still works with those, 3 tubes.
Yeah,
but you think about, the very first episode of the series where that dishwasher gets fixed and blows out that hole through the back of the counter there.
Yeah.
And we think about all the things that have flown through windows and lawnmowers that have gone over things. So.
Well, the mantra is more power, so if he just fixed things regularly, there wouldn't be much of a show. That's where most of the conflict is derived from. So
that's what Bob Vila is about. We can't have that.
Yeah, I think we'll be seeing him very soon.
Mighty soon. So Jill, at this point, is upset and frustrated, so she's going to go ahead and fix the stove and the ice dispenser, and Tim just laughs at her, so he's not, he doesn't think she can do it.
Yeah.
I don't think she can do it
Is this where
either.
she gets out she makes an apron, or she turns an apron into a tool belt?
That is a couple scenes later.
All right, it's all blurring together. I actually, I got to find myself in the notes here. Okay.
We're going to go to tool time next.
Yeah, we are going to. What is it? I wrote an 18-month endeavor. Is that the hot rod?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, well, Jill's going to fix it without Tim. All right, tool time. Tim is sitting in the audience. That was a cool way to start the scene. It's lawn care week. Tim proceeds to go into sort of a rant about women. They don't understand lawn mowing. You have to really take care of your lawn. It sort of becomes sexual with the men in the lawn. Alice sort of stroking the AstroTurf. It's okay. I don't know.
Did you mow your lawn?
Right now?
No, not right now. I'm talking about growing up.
I did not mow the lawn growing up much. My dad really liked to mow the lawn. I think that he thought of it as being sort of therapeutic. But after college, I moved back home for a span of probably 6, 7, 8 months maybe. And I did mow the lawn then. And I really like mowing a lawn. And I look forward, I actually say it quite often, that I look forward to sometime owning a house and having a lawn to mow. I do quite enjoy it.
Yeah, you've got all this pent-up energy, this lawn mowing energy that you just need to release.
I don't know, I just like it. I like getting the steps in. I like the idea of starting something and then knowing in an hour later it's going to be different. It's going to look better, and it's just a whole process for me.
Well, and it's nice to be outside every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just really an excuse to go outside.
I really like mowing lawn. You've made me miss it. In fact,
I'm so sorry. Yeah, I did when I was younger. We had a rider mower, and
you didn't for your yard.
Yeah, we did.
Oh,
it seemed big at the time, I guess. But yeah, I was not very good at it, but I was forced to do it anyway. So, and my parents compensated me for it, which I no doubt did not deserve. So. Yeah,
anytime your parents are paying you for anything that you do is kind of foolish, but I guess it's more just as a sort of, I don't know, signifier.
It was my way to earn an allowance, I suppose.
Yeah, it is it's like a lesson learned. You work, you get something, but in fact, they're kind of covering everything that you do most of your young adult life. But
generous parents. They talk about different types of grass, including fescue, some sort of joke on fescue and rescue. Fescue 911, I believe, is the joke that's made.
Yeah.
But today they're going to really focus in on fertilizer. And I like that they do themes like this. Salute to fertilizer, salute to, I don't know, chainsaws, whatever they've done in the past. If you were watching this show, I guess that would be a good way to organize it and keep you interested in a certain topic.
Yeah, in many ways, the Tool Time, the show within a show, Tool Time, is a lot more clever than Home Improvement You know, you know what I mean? Like they do, like they differentiate things. They have like unique introductions, camera angles, like that. Generally, like there's different things going on. I feel like sometimes they spend more time kind of crafting tool time than they do home improvement. But.
Yeah, they're really putting on a show, if you know what I mean.
Tim, it's fertilizer week. Tim rides a cow in Jordan.
A bull.
Is it a bull?
It has horns.
You mess with the bull, you get the horns.
Lisa almost got the horns.
Yeah, it's very obvious that like that the bull is it's not cooperating, and Lisa is not prepared for it. It really kind of tosses Lisa around a little bit.
Yeah, I'm surprised that she didn't
No wonder
get, like,
she left
stabbed.
the show.
Yeah, it was dangerous.
Yeah. So yeah, that's really it though. Like he rides the bull out, Lisa gets roughed up, and then that's all.
The bull also has a hat on. I don't know if you saw that.
Is it a hard hat?
I don't think it was a hard hat. It was just a normal hat.
It's a Tigers hat.
Yeah, he's a big fan.
He's wearing a JD Martinez jersey.
Oh boy.
All right, we get back home. Jill's working on the stove. Randy's helping. Tim comes home, and I need some explanation on this. So Tim comes home and he says something, or he smells like manure, and they start making pig jokes. And again, this goes on a long time, and there are a lot of pig jokes.
Oh my gosh, it's
none of them are funny. Why are they making the pig jokes though in the first place?
I think it goes from cow to pig pretty quickly.
Yeah, but why?
Because pigs are known as very unclean creatures, so I think they're saying that he's like that, and so they keep doing a bunch of pig jokes, like you said. None of it is funny, but Tim's response I thought was kind of funny. He said, "Was there a 2-drink minimum in here?"
Funny, probably the funniest line in the whole episode. But their pig jokes go on for so long, and Jill's are very specific, and Randy's laughing at them. And like the last one is like a reference to like it's like an old TV show or an old play or something, and Randy's just like yucking it up. It's like, kid, you don't get it. Like you don't even know what she's talking about.
I don't know. Maybe Randy does get it.
He likes magic. Well, he likes show tunes probably too.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was really weird. Like they came in talking about a bull. All of a sudden, there's I don't know 9 pig jokes in 10 seconds. It's like an episode of Yo Mama, the old Wilmer Valderrama show, where the guys are just burning each other back and forth. You know, you remember that?
No, I don't. Was that on MTV or anything?
Yeah, MTV.
All right, maybe I do remember a little bit.
Music television. You know,
back in the old days when it was called. This is the scene where Jill does have the tool belt apron thing going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's really it though. Tim says that Jill made everything worse when she tried to work on it. She took a short job and she made it longer.
Yeah, I'm sure she did. I like that Jill is at least giving it a shot, but I feel like she should have asked Brad for help instead.
She should have just called the guy right away.
That's true.
She should have brought in. She should have given.
It's not like she has YouTube videos to like watch or anything, you know.
Yeah, there's no tutorials. Next scene, I guess it's just later on in the day. Tim comes home and he finds that Gus, who is a repairman, was called by Jill to come in and fix things. I better do my Gus bio right now.
You better.
I gotta do my Gus bio.
With lots of gusto, please.
Yeah, I gotta remember which actor did which here. So I think it is... Okay. Gus is played by David Correa. 49 credits to his name. He was in the film Seven, Dragonfly, Boys and Girls. Hasn't appeared in anything since 2006 when he was on the TV series Huff, playing Ray Martinez. What do you think of Gus, Jordan?
He's a pretty straight shooter. Comes in and does the job, I suppose.
Would you say he shoots straight from the hip as well?
No, I don't think he's like that.
Okay, all right. Yeah, Gus is the repairman. And Tim doesn't like having this guy in fixing his appliances. He feels emasculated, and then Gus doesn't help things out. Gus says he's going to tell everybody he knows that Tim Taylor needed him to fix his appliances.
He's rubbing salt in the wound.
Yeah.
I also wanted
among other things.
I also wanted to say at the start of the scene, Gus asks if she has any pipe cleaners, and I kind of figured that he should have that kind of equipment.
Own. Yeah.
Why is he asking this house if they have pipe cleaners? I don't know.
Does he find a lot of people do? I don't think I do.
I don't. Apparently Jill does, and So I guess that's good. But yeah, it just seemed a strange thing for him to ask.
And then he was like, "Do you have like a ruler or a measuring stick? Do you
have a wrench? Because I didn't bring any. I didn't bring anything.
Can you drive me home?"
Oh man, he does get something from the fridge later on. So he did not come prepared at all.
No.
So Gus is, like you said, Gus is going to tell everyone that Tim needed his help to fix all the stuff in the house. Tim takes Jill to the garage to ream her out, and he's saying, how does he know that Gus is reputable or good at what he does? And perhaps another terrible thing that Jill could say, or the worst thing that Jill could say at this moment, is Al. Al recommended him. And so now Al is going to know that Tim needed help.
And you're going to tell everybody on set.
Ugh, it's just getting worse and worse for Tim's pride here.
What follows is Tim says something about his fans finding out about all this, and Jill says, this is another joke I gotta have you explain. Jill says, "Why don't you just put them both in the front seat and explain it to him?" What does that mean?
What do you mean, what does that mean? She's saying he doesn't have any fans.
Put them both in the front seat?
She's basically saying he has so little fans that he could fit them in a car.
That's a weird way to go about saying it. Okay. I mean,
it's also not true because, look at every single time we see the Tool Time audience is stacked with people.
Well, also, every person that comes into the Taylor house has seen Home Improvement, or has seen Tool Time, and Home Improvement, presumably. That joke is weird, but whatever. Gus kind of, he finds his way into the garage, and he's impressed by the hot rod. As I wrote my notes, Rod.
He's impressed by Rod?
He's impressed by the Rod. They kind of bond. He has been working on his own car.
Vicky.
Well, I'm glad you wrote it down. And he helps Tim, and they kind of bond over that. Jill she kind of gets progressively more angered by Gus because she says, "Hey, Gus, come on back in." He'll say, "Yeah, just a minute, Miss Taylor." And it happens a couple times. And as the men kind of bond, she slams the door. Yeah,
she should be upset. This is just, another example of exactly what Tim's doing is now happening to Gus. So Gus also wants to hear the problem, and he has a solution pretty quickly. So he knows his stuff. And they decide to kind of dismiss her anger and slamming of the door and just work on the hot rod. And with that, we move outside to Wilson, and we're going to get something a little bit different here, so I'm going to go ahead and play the clip.
Hi, Wilson. Hi-ho, Tim. I just saw a repair truck pull away. You got problems?
No, Joe called a repairman to fix the stove and the ice dispenser. Hey, I could have fixed both of them, but I just found out about the ice dispenser.
Oh, really? I thought you had mentioned that faulty ice dispenser to me about 3 weeks ago.
Gee whiz, Wilson, you don't have to jump all over me.
Well, I'm sorry, Tim.
The repairman didn't even fix the stove. I got it kind of sidetracked on the hot rod. A lot of good that did. I still can't start the thing. Jill said I was being irresponsible.
I see.
I'm not irresponsible. I do a lot of chores around here. I help raise the kids. I even cook dinner sometimes. I never get credit for that stuff.
Why should you? Well, that's stuff you're supposed to do anyway.
Don't sneak up on me, please.
Wilson, I've been trying to get him to fix that stove for 3.5 weeks. That's why I called the repairman.
I was going to do it. You just didn't give me the time.
Tim, you don't want me to nag you about doing the jobs. You don't want to do the jobs. You don't want me to call a repairman. What am I supposed to do?
Wilson, jump in any time.
I'm here for you, Tim. But this time, you haven't got a leg to stand on.
What is this, gang up on Tim Day?
What is it with men, Wilson? They'll spend hours working on an engine, putting up a satellite dish, but they won't take 5 minutes and fix a simple little doorknob.
Well, Jill, I find your question astute and sagacious.
Give it to her, Wilson.
That's a compliment, Tim.
See, Jill, historically, men have been drawn to the jobs that bring them attention and glory, like discovering new lands or winning wars. Women, however, have been expected to work quietly and steadily to maintain the home.
But that's a long time ago, Wilson. Times are changing. Women are working, men are staying at home. Both are working. Roles are reversing.
Trenchant and perspicacious.
Now, that can't possibly be a compliment.
I'm afraid so, Tim.
Oh, you did it to me again.
Thank you, Wilson.
A wise man once said, every job has one thing in common. It has to be done, and it has to be done well.
Well, that's kind of nice.
Who said that?
You did.
I used to be a pretty smart fella.
At the fence, Tim begins to confide in Wilson. But yeah, Jordan, you noted we have something a little different here. Subverting audience expectations. Jill sneaks up behind, and she begins to kind of weigh in on the conversation. They both plead their case to Wilson.
The judge and the jury.
And the executioner. Wilson eventually says that Tim doesn't really have a leg to stand on, and I suppose he's right. Tim's merits in this episode are I guess, there just really aren't any to his argument.
Yeah, I don't even think he really tries.
I don't think he has an argument to speak of. Wilson sides with Jill throughout pretty much the whole conversation, and then he quotes back Tim at the end saying, every job has to be done well, or every job has one thing in common in that it has to be done well. And that's how it ends. It's okay.
Yeah, there's some more subverting the norm if Wilson quotes Tim of all people.
Yeah, instead of Robert Louis Stevenson.
Yeah, we've had enough of that one lately, so we're going to move on to Tim Taylor. We're going to go back to Tool Time, unless you have anything else to say about the scene.
Nothing else to say about it.
Nothing. Okay. So it's still lawn care week. Tim has sharpened some shears, and Tim and Elle make some sheep jokes. Lots of sheep jokes. There's been pig jokes, there's been sheep jokes, there's been cow jokes. Just a lot of animal jokes in this one.
This episode really angered PETA. A lot of letters written.
Yeah, that was also in the trivia.
Yeah, 0 out of 10 found that interesting.
Tim gives a tip, that same tip that Wilson quoted from Tim earlier, and we learned that Al actually said it last year. So it wasn't even Tim that said it. But a guest is brought out, Jim Lester, a hedge clipping specialist. And why don't you give a bio on him before we talk about Jim and his many, many interests?
Yeah, Jim Lester, played by Gene Wygant. Wygant?
Why can't you pronounce his name?
Wygant. Actor, 18 credits to his name. He's in a film you might be familiar with, Jordan, called Mickey's Twice Upon Christmas. Twice upon a Christmas. Twice Upon a Christmas.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
The A is strange looking in the photo. He was also in The Babe, where John Goodman plays Babe Ruth. And recently he has appeared in Chicago Fire. Wow.
Ooh, so he's a little more active than Gus was.
Yeah, reoccurring role. What else we got here? We got...
I want to know who he played in that Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas. Or
he
twice,
played additional voices. Additional Voices is my favorite character from that.
They're
that
huge.
iteration.
They have such a huge line.
When Additional Voices ends up being the bad guy the whole time, I dropped my Pop-Tart.
You talked about the twist earlier. Oh my goodness, this is some M. Night Shyamalan type of twist.
Yeah, baby. He's in a lot of he was in all the 90s sitcoms. So he went Home Improvement, Murphy Brown, Ellen, Coach, Drew Carey Show. So that's Murderous Row.
Wow, yeah, everything but Boy Meets World.
And he played a clipping specialist in all of them.
I didn't realize that topiaries were such a big part of all these shows.
More like dopiary.
Oh, Jim Lester. 1-2 punch.
Go ahead and pick it up.
All right, so Jim shares some secrets. They show off some Binford tools, per the usual. They bring out some examples of some topiaries. Apparently, these take 5 years to grow and hundreds of hours to shape. He usually uses a little pruning shears to shape them, so it takes a lot of time and effort. Tim apparently is allergic to something in these topiaries or something on set, and he still has those really big shears that he sharpened earlier. And as he sneezes, he destroys some of the handiwork while Jim is trying to explain something to the audience. Al and Tim try to hide it, and Lisa accidentally blows it when she pulls the rolling cart away. And Jim is mortified. He does some major overacting here.
That's 5 years down the drain, Jordan.
Yeah, it is. He is definitely upset. I
tell you what, when Tim started sneezing with those clippers in his hand, I was like, what's going to happen? I don't know.
You thought he was going to cut off Al's hand or something?
I thought it could have been worse. I think Jim could have died.
All things considered, yeah, Jim got out of there alive, so he should be happy.
Yeah.
But he's not. He's upset. And that's the end of that scene.
Aghast.
Yeah, he is.
It
was a tragic topiary scene, if you ask me. All right, so at home in the evening, Mark and Randy are playing football. Mark throws a nice tight spiral.
I can't believe he throws it. It's really quite a throw.
I didn't catch it the first time. The first time I wrote down Brad, but then later they go inside and Brad's sitting on the couch, so I had to watch again.
Last episode I made a point to say that the writing was on the wall for Mark, but this kind of works in opposition to that, so I guess we're going to have to go back and re-record that.
Yeah, we'll definitely start over. I thought it was definitely the best moment of the season for Mark, so...
Yeah, it was a highlight of a very low season for Mark.
Jill has fixed the doorknob, so everyone is very impressed, including
She had a pretty
Tim.
good job, too. That's what Brad says. Hey, Dad, Mom fixed the doorknob. She did a pretty good job, too.
And then they go on to say that maintaining the home is teamwork. So now Tim's on board with all this. Apparently everything has changed.
We've heard this before, I believe.
That's right. Yeah, he's going to forget about 2 months later, though. So Tim has been working on the ice dispenser, but he's made some improvements, and that includes a vacuum hose that has now been put on the ice dispensing machine. So he starts by displaying this on just like 3 cups that are sitting on the counter. And then Brad goes long and he nails it and some water splashes out of the cup that's there. So it's got some power. It's got some distance.
Yeah, I would say Tim fixes the ice machine with predictable results. How many takes do you think it took for Brad to catch the ice cube in the cup? That would have taken a lot of tries.
Yeah, I mean...
It didn't look it wasn't edited. There was a cut, but it wasn't really chopped up, so...
No, I mean, it probably was a pretty easy edit, too, because they moved from one part of the room to the other one.
Yeah.
I would think. Also, I mean, I would imagine they have to mess with the power of the vacuum dispenser thing.
Yeah.
To figure out the right length. So, yeah, I think it took a little bit.
Worth it.
We'll never know. Yeah, definitely worth it. So later at home, everyone's in the garage. Everything's been wrapped up in a tight little bow now that Tim realizes that he needs to pull his own weight. And with Brad's help, they think they've fixed some of the issues. It wasn't Gus's advice that fixed the vehicle. It was Brad and Tim. So Tim's kind of savoring the moment, getting ready to turn this on. And he goes ahead and puts the key in the ignition. Cue the R. Kelly music. It works. Everyone goes wild. Randy's excited. Some music blares, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, really good.
really good.
Really good. Mm-hmm.
Really good. Almost as good as these outtakes with Gus that we're about to get into.
Yeah, they were kind of good.
Yeah, so...
I can set it up. So,
please.
Gus, and Tim walks in, he asks Gus if he needs anything. Gus says, yeah, I could use a beer. And Tim says, oh, those are in the way back. I'll have to go get it. Opens up the refrigerator door and walks in and closes it.
Whoa! And then Jill comes in.
And does the same thing.
Oh, yeah. She says it's going to take him forever. And so she goes in to go get him. And, they all go along with it pretty well. They commit to this scene here.
Tim comes back with a beer. I gotta say, I was a little bit surprised. It just seems like I was surprised I didn't have an actual refrigerator for whatever reason. I don't know. It just seems like it would be easier to just get a real refrigerator in there.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? If your refrigerator's running, you better go catch it, though.
You got that right. Yeah. And then we roll credits, fade to black. Birth of a hot rod. All right, Jordan, you want to cut the umbilical cord on this one?
Please. So, I don't know. I don't want to compare it directly to the last episode just because...
But if you do, it's very favorable.
I know. That's why. Because I don't really... Okay, here's things I like. I'll do the highs and lows because that's the way you like to do this. I do like the scene with Tim and Jill and Wilson because that's a little bit different. Wilson ends up quoting Tim. Everybody's kind of in there solving together and all that kind of stuff. So that's a little bit different. I do like that Mark did something productive and not something weird and scary or narky, any of that kind of stuff. So he threw a nice spiral later on. I thought Gus did pretty good. He doesn't do anything crazy, but I think what he does do is well acted. And lows, I don't really like this side of Tim again. We've seen this before. Tim is just he's not pulling his weight. He's, neglecting some things that he shouldn't be neglecting. I don't know. It's that seems like it's been done. Also, Jim's reaction to the cutting of his topiaries, I thought was actually pretty bad acting. I thought it was way over the top. I know that it takes 5 years. Believe me. If there's anyone who knows about hard work and effort and dedication, it's me. But I thought it was over the top. So,
wow. Okay. Let me think. Highs. I'm glad that the hot rod's finally been birthed. That way we can stop kind of feeling like we need to reference it in episodes, just to remind people that it exists. So it's good to have that kind of out of the picture. I liked it when
you liked it when the cow almost killed Lisa?
Yeah, no, that scared me. Yeah, I suppose the fence scene's okay. The highs are. It's very even keeled for me this episode.
They're not highs, I suppose.
They're, just like things that were okay versus things that were not great. It's okay, I guess. Like you said, in comparison to the last episode, it was nice because it. But yeah, Tim's not likable. There really aren't any major laughs. I think Gus is okay, but maybe Gus should have been a little bit weirder just for the sake of like having a memorable performance. But it's like just pretty down the middle. Like he's just kind of a dude there. And then the other guy, obviously, they take that too far in the other direction, where like you said, his acting is pretty bad, and that's just like kind of a not real funny turn. It's fine. It is very middle of the road for season 2, I would say. But definitely better than the last one, and hopefully the next one will be better than this one.
Way too many animal jokes.
Yeah, the joke, like the bits went on too long. Like the thing with Jill pretending to be Tim was too long, and the Randy and Jill doing just the pig jokes were not funny, and also just never ending.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I would agree. It's not. I mean, if you're comparing it to the last episode, great, whatever. But but not one of my favorites.
Didn't like 4 out of 10. I'm adding a rating system now.
Okay. We're going to start that 48 episodes in.
Yeah, I think so. C minus.
All right. I guess that means we can move on to social media.
Let's do it, Jordan.
So if you want to reach out to us, please do so at thehomeandpodcast.com. There you can leave comments on our blog posts. You can reach out to us on a contact form there. You can also email us at homeandpodcast@gmail.com. Feel free to reach out to us on facebook.com/homeandpodcast and at Twitter @homeandpodcast. If you still want to get access to that awesome, raw, uncut Jungle to Jungle video, or not video. Oh man, if there was video.
If it was a video, maybe people would like it more.
Audio, please go to patreon.com/homeandpodcast. The people who have listened to it so far are ranting and raving. They said it was a romp. So
it actually made the Time magazine list of the 50 best podcasts on air retroactively. So like they went back and changed the episode. And they just put that one on there. That's how good it is.
Absolutely. So patreon.com/homeandpodcast, or there is a support tab on our website as well.
Yeah. I'll talk Twitter. So I did the poll for 3 days again, which I guess I'm probably going to have to not do anymore because there's still a day left and I'm worried that
I don't like not knowing the results.
I know. Yeah, I got to stop. I just wanted to get more votes. I can comment on last week's poll. That's appropriate? I think I left it up in there.
I mean, you left it at 50-50.
You know what? And it ended up at 50-50. So the extra day didn't really do us any good. So I'll probably switch back after this week. But this week's poll, which again is it's a tentative result, which Mother's Day gift from the boys is best? So which, was it Brad, Mark's, or Randy's? So 13% said the popsicle stick recipe box, which adds up. 40% said the trunk-related magic trick. 47% said the jewelry box. So I think that's logical, I guess. Although, like I said, I'd rather have the popsicle stick recipe box because it's tangible,
Yeah, you're all about stuff.
I'm as fans of the show remember, I'm not in the minimalism craze.
No, you're not.
I'm in the maximalism craze.
Yeah, and magic is not maximalism.
No, it isn't. Anything else we need to talk about with regards to social media?
I don't think so.
All right, rate and review the show if you like us. Did we get a new iTunes review this week?
Oh, good question. I'm going to check that real quick.
All right.
Nope.
All right, good. Good. You don't want to sing anyways. Whose turn is it for question of the week? All right, I got one.
Okay.
Jordan, this week's episode features a lot of animal references and jokes made at the expense of animals. But I want to talk to you about your experiences on a farm, near a farm, with farms, or farming.
Ooh, wow. So my grandparents owned a farm in the thumb of Michigan, and we used to go there quite a bit, holidays, summer, just to hang out. And it's a nice little farm, has plenty of land, it has like a hill, it has a pond that there's some fish in, and all that kind of stuff. So we had some good memories there, of course. One bad memory, I would say, is for some reason... I mean, you remember the jumping rope craze of middle school, don't you?
Where people would get on a rope and then it would swing and people would jump off?
No, you wanted to jump rope and to jump rope everywhere.
No, Jordan, we were in the same middle school. That assuredly was not a craze.
I don't remember if it was middle school.
What I said wasn't a craze either, but I thought you were talking about like people that hang ropes by lakes from trees and they swing, like
no,
a Tarzan
I just had
thing.
experience with that too at a different farm. But
that's fun though.
But so at this farm, I don't know why I brought my jump rope. I was just trying to get some extra. I was trying to get some extra cardio in.
I mean, you're packing your bag for that farm. You're like, yeah, I better have some sunglasses, maybe some SPF 30, and my jump rope, of course.
I got my And One shirt on, and it's trying to rope. I'm trying to jump some rope here. So I started jumping rope near some cows, and for some reason it freaked them out, and they ran and they broke through the fence at like the back of the farm. So
they probably thought, this kid looks so stupid. We got to get out of here. I can't even watch him embarrass himself.
So, yeah, my grandpa wasn't super happy about that. At another farm that my uncle owns near in the thumb, he has a big corn crop out there. And when the corn got pretty high, we used to play a game called Corn Monster at night. And we would go out there, and it was kind of like freeze tag almost, but he was the corn monster, and everyone would go out there in the dark, and we would try to run away from him, basically. So that's there's my experience with farms.
Jordan, you're a corn monster.
I was little corn monster for a year. Corn monster junior.
Return of the corn monster. That's my next.
I bet you weren't ready for that when you asked that question.
It was a better story than I expected. Okay, my experiences with farms. I mean, farms per se, my grandfather on one side was a farmer. I come from a line of farmers. My uncle drives a combine for a living. I grew up next to a horse barn. They didn't really do any farming, but there were horses.
Man, we had a friend that really liked those horses.
Yeah, he really did. I thought they were okay. When you live next to something your whole life, I loved my house and it was very nice, but I mean, we were right next door to the horses. Like, the house was 10 feet from where horses were, so it was very close. Intimate setting, you might say.
Intimate horse setting.
So that felt like a farm. It looked like a farm. They didn't do any. Actually, they did they did have like straw that they would what's it called? Bale straw. Obviously, I didn't get real attached to the farm, but so I lived around it my whole life. That's about it, Yeah. I suppose I picked some things up by osmosis, but I don't know if it's called baling straw or baling hay. Probably.
There you go. That's an actual act.
Yeah. So
hay bales.
I didn't jump rope around any of the animals.
No, we did play basketball near them though.
Yeah, they liked that. They don't mind watching a good game of hoops, but you take a jump rope out and it's like, see you later.
Remember that awesome picture I took of dunking on people for some reason?
Yeah, that was like early like social media, I think, where it's like people just felt like they were obligated to post, like take a lot of pictures and then post like
put them on MySpace
albums, right?
Yeah, people really liked that a lot.
Probably one of my fondest memories of the horses nearby was probably like 5th or 6th grade birthday party. There was a horse with just a massive erection that really, really let's just say he really changed the fate of that birthday party for worse. So
for worse.
People
got a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, people just couldn't get away. It's just like,
But when you live next to a horse farm, I mean, you're just used to that.
Yeah, I mean, he's a stud, right? So, but people, you're not accustomed to seeing horses, and you see that, and it's just like it's a slow motion car accident. You don't want to watch, but you can't look away.
So we've got interesting farm stories. We'd love to hear yours. So feel free. To
I
read.
would love to hear our listeners' farm stories. Yeah, you're right.
If it has to do with a jump rope or a horse erection,
Yeah.
we don't really need to hear any more about those. But any other stories?
No, I'd like to hear more.
Okay, all right.
As long as keep it PG though. It's a family podcast.
Yep.
All right, Jordan, what are we covering next week?
It's going to be season 2 season finale, The Great Race.
That's huge news. We've almost done it, and that's going to be the return of Bob Vila and the departure of Karn. So
Big episode.
could be a good week. All right, Jordan. Well, you probably have some jump roping to do, so I should get off the horn here.
I gotta skip out of here.
All right, Jordan. Thanks for joining me, listeners. Take care.
Take care, everybody.